Good evening, and welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities. Presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, 5-time best-selling author, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLC. Tonight we have an amazing special VIP guest by the name of Keywanda Lamb. A little bit about her. Keywanda Lamb is an author, speaker, blogger, soon-to-be podcaster, and a winning single mom. Her journey to being a sought-out speaker, encourager to single moms everywhere, and a transformational coach began when her boys was just 2 years old and 2 months. Keywanda had a choice to make: stay in a relationship that didn't honor her or raise her boys as a single mom. She decided to take option B, betting on herself and God, and has spent the last 19 years chasing her dreams of raising good babies. She returned to college 4 times in that span, holds a master's in Spanish Lit, and is a certified principal. Her motto is do it anyway, because you can dream about it or you can be about it. She now spends most of her time showing other women they too can parent well, thrive, and win. Keywanda hosts a brunch series around the U.S. called Brunch in Love, which includes a luxury brunch experience for single moms, plus wisdom from today's top relationship experts. Keywanda believes women can chase their dreams and raise great children, but single doesn't have to mean forever. You can find her speaking on women's issues, diversity, faith, and single parenting while working in a nonprofit she founded in her latest project, the Single Mom Success Academy. Keywanda blogs at KeywandaLamb.com, and you can purchase her 2 books plus the Single Mom Success Bundle and Planner at www.KeywandaLamb.com/shop. Welcome to the table, the amazing Keywanda Lamb.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. Wow, I did not think you would read the whole thing, but thank you.
You are amazing. Amazing bio, by the way.
Thank you. God has been absolutely good. And Ashley, I tell you, starting out as a young single mom, I didn't see any of this. All I knew was I wanted to make sure my boys had, and I wanted to survive. And just along the way, he's given me those inklings of purpose. And that's all I'm doing is trying to live out purpose. That's all.
I love it. And you are doing it. You are doing it. So please tell our listeners, Keywanda, more about your entrepreneur journey.
Wow. So I have been a high school Spanish teacher for the last 13 years. I would say 14, because I'm now out of the classroom running my own business full time. But I spent 13 years in the classroom, and along the way, I realized, wow, kids are expensive, and just one income, okay? And so I began to start asking God, what can I do? What are my skills? And so that's one of the things that I really work with moms on, is like pulling out your bankable skills. And so I realized that I am my bankable skill. Like, I am a winning single mom. And the reason why I came to that is people, my whole entire mom life would be like, how are your kids so well behaved? And how are you going back to school? How are you working full-time and going to school full-time? And your kids are like not missing a beat. And I was like, isn't that what I'm supposed to do? Isn't that what you do? And it was married women coming to me exhausted. And, when you're young and you don't know any better, you think, oh, everybody else has it better than you. And so I was like, my married friends, y'all got a husband, whatever. You don't have these problems. And sure enough, people were like, show us how to do it, okay? Teach me how to Dougie, okay? And so I realized that, what I thought was normal was really a system that I had created for myself, right? And so I also had this motto that I live by, which was, I got to do it. I have to do it anyway. Like, life sucks sometimes, but get up, girl, let's get it. And so anyway, that's how I got to it. That's my entrepreneurial journey. I was a teacher, and I realized I would like more coins, and I started speaking like, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? What else do you have for me? And then how can I use that to take care of my family? And so that's how the first book was born. I actually started, sharing my journey on social media. Love Twitter. Man, back in the day, I was a tweeting sister. If y'all can find the time to go back to when I started on Twitter, you will find all kinds of nuggets and tea and inspiration that will help you get your life. And so that was just the season I was in. And so I realized I was onto something, and I started a blog. So it's like one day out the blue, something in my spirit said start a blog, and I did back in 2013. And it's been me devoting a lot of time to helping single moms all around the world ever since then. So I still blog a little bit, not as much. And I've written 2 books and released a planner recently. And I also coach moms in starting their own business. And so it started from need, I would say. And then I began to realize purpose was involved in it. So sorry for the long explanation, but that's how I got started.
Well, I just want to commend you for creating that space to reach back and help our single moms out, right? Because you just never know who's in the same situation you were in, who's experiencing some of the same things that you went through. And it's reaching back and creating that space for them, let them know that it can be done. So thank you for doing that.
Girl, you are welcome. And you know what, I think all of us, even you, sometimes we may not even give ourselves the credit for what we've accomplished because we feel like it was just something that we felt like we needed to do or something that we felt like God called us to do. And, I don't know about you, but sometimes I don't stop and pause and just really say, you did that, girl. So today, let's take a moment and say, you know what, Ashley, you did that, girl. You know what,
you did that, girl. I love it. So, Keywanda, you are passionate about showing other women they, too, can parent well, thrive, and win. So tell us more about your passion.
So it really started with me realizing I was, when I was younger, in the early 20s, had these little boys. I realized that those first couple of years, thank God they were babies and toddlers, that they didn't really see I was just fighting for air. I was pushing through with a broken heart. And when I started getting into coaching, I realized that a lot of times we like to show me how to make money. But I'm like, listen, you've got to go through your healing process as well. You got to learn how to fix these finances and see what's causing these finances to be awry or what's causing you to choose to spend instead of save or choose to do this instead of invest. What problem are we feeding when we need to actually feed it something else? Sometimes we need to kill this root so that we can improve. And so I realized that the process I went through was something I needed to teach women how to do. So actually, when I wrote my book, I sat down and I thought, what are the steps that if a woman never coaches with me, what does she need to go through? So that first book, Do It Anyway, is life-giving. It has all 5-star reviews on Amazon because I didn't write a book just to say I'm an author. You know how some people do, child. I'd be mad too, Ashley. I'm like, your book has 20 pages in it. And
right.
It's $20. And mine has 130-something, and it's life-changing. And I'm getting people saying, oh, I don't have $10. Listen, honey, you better go get this wisdom. So anyway, I realized that the process I went through was what so many people needed to go through. The first step is heal, right? And sometimes we don't know how to do that. We don't want to spend time doing that. And I'm like, listen, you're going to have to face these issues, or you're going to be paying a whole lot of money later in health, right, and bills coming from your health being deteriorated and having to go to see therapists and who knows, who else, because we're avoiding what we need to be trying to heal. And then the next step to be a successful single mom and to learn how to do it anyway is you have got to figure out your why. So when we talk about my packages, I really work in these areas first. So you got to go through your healing process. You got to figure out your why or your purpose. You got to learn how to find your people because, I didn't make it this far alone. I learned very early on that my family thought I was going to go and have more babies. And I'm like, I didn't have these without being able to take care of them. And I'm like, watch the kids so I can go out on a date or something. They didn't want to do that. So I was like, all right, I'm going to fix y'all. I'm going to go find me some other people who love me and care about me. And that's why the next step is find your tribe. And so I want you to know that if you feel like you're alone out there in the single parenting journey, there are people who they may not look like you. They may not come from the same background as you, but God will send you your people. And when I moved to Texas with my boys, he sent me married couples that became my bestest of friends. And I, of course, being a single mom, was like, oh, these people won't want to be friends with me, or there'll be issues or whatever. And it was just the most beautiful support system. And so I tell women all the time, be open, be looking, be a friend, and God will send you people who are friendly. And to this day, like, we are still friends with those families, and we get together multiple times during the year sometimes and just love on each other. And our kids have grown up, even when we've moved, to different cities, like they supported each other and kept in touch, and the same with me and those families. And so I just simply want to say that I do a couple of different types of coaching. So you talked about my relationship coaching, my relationship program. Well, I found out when I first started getting back into dating myself that there was a problem that we single moms have, and it's called confidence, right? Especially if the guy that we talked to and had children by kind of was down on us, or, was emotionally abusive or mentally or verbally abusive. And so there are some things that we have to come back from. So when we talk about packages, not only do I want to help them get their money right, I want to help them learn how to navigate life, learn how to navigate parenthood. And so that's where I come from. So I'm really going to get on a discovery call with women and just listen to their story and then talk about what I think they need. So I feel like I'm doing all the talking, Ashley, so butt in if you need to. But I really felt like, we could do these programs where we teach women how to make money, but if we don't teach them how to keep it, if we don't teach them, why they're spending, if we don't help reshape mindset, it'll be the same problem. And so I will tell you, though, along the way, I have met some of the most amazing women and some of the most amazing moms. And I've coached people from the Caribbean to the UK to, Japan. It's just been an awesome ride, and I'm so thankful to God for it. Australia, I could just keep going on. But, this information is needed. And the fact that people, can hear somebody say something positive is what I think really stands out the most about me. Like women in my Facebook group, they say, we like it here because you don't allow negativity. Like, y'all can do that anywhere else in somebody else's group, but here we don't man bash. We just pick up and we say, okay, what can we do with what's left in our hand? Like the woman in the Bible, when the prophet said, what do you have in your house? That's all I care about. What do you have left? What can we work with that you have left? And how can we build a life that you love? So long story short, I work on the inner issues, and then we can work on the outer.
I love it. Let's talk to, our listeners that are single moms now. So what are some strategies you would give to those single moms who are feeling like giving up right now?
Girl, get yourself together. Snap out of it. You have got to learn how to encourage yourself. And notice that when I talk, I'm always saying that God kept me. I'm always saying that I knew something was pulling me forward. I had those moments where I was like, woe is me, and why is this happening to me? And why did this dude get me pregnant on purpose and leave me with 2 kids? We can keep going down that rabbit hole, or we can snap out of it. And I would just say, legit, this is not a plug. This is like, girl, that book is life-giving. And if you feel like you're at the end and you just want to sit down in one spot and not move, you need to start getting some encouragement into your life. I used to do Periscope a lot. And so if you go find my Periscope, Keywanda Lamb, you will, actually I think it's Katie Ma, K-Y-D-Y-M-A. That's my nickname, Katie. And I'm a mom, so I named myself Katie Ma, right? I was a teacher, and I didn't want my students to find me because they're nosy. And so they wanted to follow me on social, and I'd be like, I don't have a social, because I knew I was talking about adult things. But there are so many Periscopes out there still left that were just, so encouraging. I used to do something called Single Mom Sunday. And so I would say start there. I would say also, listen to your favorite pastor or spiritual person. I would say definitely increase your connection to God and make yourself a note, right, what you really want in your life. Just take, there's something powerful about doing a vision board and even just journaling, So it is not over. It is not the end. There are people who were homeless and are millionaires. What's the difference? You see what I'm saying? So, sis, pull up. Do not believe the hype. This is not the end for you. Somebody will love you. Do not believe that there's no one else for you. Do not believe that it's going to always be like this, because all those are lies. And the sooner you get to the realization that you can have anything you want, the sooner your life will change. Now, you're going to have to do some work for it. You're going to have to push for it. But I want you to know that it is possible to totally recreate your life. And, in that bio, I didn't really say, that I pretty much had gotten fed up with the fact that their dad hadn't, come to see them. And, man, I don't even know if it had been a year or two, but I know that I was tired of trying to get him to spend time with his kids. And, like I said, I was raising 2 young children by myself. I moved to Texas when they were 4 and 6. And I really do think it was around the time that the youngest was about 2 that he went really sporadic. And then it was just like so long by the time that we left and moved to Texas. And I knew that move was for me and that move was for them. And so I changed my location. I changed space. I was able to give myself new life, new opportunity, new career, new income. And I'm not telling you to up and move, but I am telling you to start thinking about the fact that you have options. And so it's when we think that we don't have options that we kind of stall our growth. Sis, you got options. You have options. You can always go get another job. If the job you have right now isn't enough, that's why they have online applications. Okay? Be clear. Okay? You got to believe in you, and you got to go after it. So I'll stop talking, but listen, girl, you got the right one when you got me, Ashley, because I got all.
I love it. So, for our listeners that listen, I know you're gaining some amazing knowledge and nuggets right now from Keywanda, so I hope you all are taking notes. Because, Keywanda, what are some strategies you would give to single moms about following their dreams? Because sometimes you might have that single mom that feels overwhelmed, or I think they can't do what they're called to do because, they have other obligations such as taking care of their kids.
So in hindsight, and I'll keep this one short, listen, girl, I'm telling you, I can talk, and when I get to be interviewed, I feel almost like teaching. Okay, so let me just say it succinctly. In hindsight, I will tell you to do not what I've done. Like, when I have an idea, I'll throw it up against the wall and see if it'll stick. If I have a vision, something comes into my spirit, I feel like this is something God wants me to do, I'll go after it. What I have realized is I need to take all those ideas, all those dreams, all those desires, and I need to put them somewhere. So I'm a big person that's into journaling. I love planning, I love planners, and all that good stuff. So I would tell you, if you know that there's a dream you have in your heart that you haven't accomplished, first thing I want you to do is give it some space somewhere. I want you to write it down. I want you to go get a journal that says my dream book or something, create it for yourself and start putting those dreams down. And then I want you to start looking at them and saying, can I really still be a ballerina? Maybe not. Maybe you can teach classes, I don't know, maybe your local theater, you can still be a ballerina. Okay, so look into that. Okay, what's the next dream? What's the next dream that you haven't fulfilled that you always wanted? Can you start your own business? Absolutely. I teach women how to start their own business every day, right? You can reach out to me. You can reach out to other women. You can start doing your own research to see what's out there. Maybe one of your dreams is writing a book. Okay, put it down and then start looking into that and saying, okay, these other people have done it. Keywanda has done it. Plenty of people are doing it. This means that it's possible for me. So first thing I want you to do is I want you to actually give it space. I want you to write it down. And then I want you to start saying, which one of these dreams can I still achieve? And which one should I do in a different capacity? Like, I have an aunt, for example, who's an amazing basketball player. She's in her 60s now. All right, so she's not going to be in the WNBA. But I really wish that she had chased that dream and had done it. So even though she can no longer play in the WNBA, she could still coach and help some other young woman learn how to be the best doggone basketball player ever, and then, be able to still fulfill some of that dream that she had in her heart. So sometimes we don't get to do it the way we wanted to, but we still get to do it. But if you're not giving your dreams space and then taking action, they're just going to be dreams. And so we want our dreams to become reality, and that takes work. And a lot of times we say what we want, but we never move towards it. So I would just say, sis, write it down, make a plan, and take action.
Write it down, make a plan, and take action. And that can go for not just our single moms, for anybody. Take action, get started, right? Get started.
Absolutely. And what? I will tell you, sometimes we get started and we get stumped and we get stuck. And it took me years to listen to the wisdom of a coach that I follow, a business coach. Actually, I don't even know if I'm going to call him a business coach, but he's an entrepreneur with his wife. His name is Lamar Tyler. And for years, since I've been in the digital space, 7 years, he would always say, done is better than perfect. And another thing he would say is, stop being the bottleneck in your business. And for a long time, I felt like nobody could help, my moms the way that I could. And nobody could do what I did with my moms and with my blog and with everything that I'm doing. And I was very hesitant to hire help, to, let other people write or guest post on my blog, because I wanted to control. Like I said, I like to be positive and uplifting and empowering. And, I like to control what is being said to my audience. And, what I soon realized was I have too many irons in the fire. There's so much that me being so bullheaded was stopping me from progressing. So I started looking into virtual assistants, and I got some support and help that I paid for. I also invested in a business coach myself, and branding and different types of things along the way. And so I'm saying that to say, don't be like me. Learn how to look ahead and plan, and early on start getting a team. Get your team together and assembled, because you can go further, faster with other people. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Outsource. I love it. So thank you for shining light on that and about building teams and knowing that we can move faster together, right? Because if our dream is just us, then it's too small.
Absolutely. But it took a while. And, I put a post up a couple of weeks ago now on Facebook that just hit me in my spirit, and it simply said, it takes what it takes. I was sitting up thinking like, hey, I've, taken time. I could have done this, could have been here by now, could have done that or whatever. But it took every moment of me saying, no, I'm going to be the bottleneck. No, I'm going to be the lead. No, I'm going to do it this way. No, it took me all those moments, all the setbacks and setups, the moving forward and everything that it's taken it for me to get to this point of realization, right, to know what I know now so I can do the next best thing. And so sometimes it takes what it takes, right? It took me to go through that to know what I know now. And if you end up being like me, saying, hey, 2 years down the road, I should have done this, that's okay, because it took what it took, and now so let's keep moving. So we're not crying over the past or spilled milk. We're just moving forward.
I love it. So let's talk about this brunch that you host throughout the United States called Brunch and Love. Please tell us about this amazing brunch, Keywanda, and how we can support and get involved and attend.
Girl, so typically I do the Brunch and Love in the fall. So my first year that I did it was in 2017. And it was amazing. I had Derek Jackson on as a panelist, and the one I did in Dallas, and then I did one in D.C. with Paul Brunson, who is a mentor and friend of mine, amazing. He is a matchmaker, and he's currently hosting a show in London called Celebs Go Dating, so real cool. And he's actually one of the reasons why I've been able to get into entrepreneurship, because I went to something called Mentor Monday that he hosted in D.C. in 2014. Like I said, I knew in 2013 to start writing my blog, but I also knew that there was somebody who had more information than me, and I just loved him. I loved his spirit. I loved how he loved his family, and that started a relationship that just has spanned all these years. It's been so super cool, and so I had him on the panel in D.C., and we had an amazing time. And so I like to switch things up. So the first relationship brunch I did was, by the way, the whole point behind it is single moms are out here thinking that, not all, but girl, listen, I had talked to women who were like, I haven't dated in 10 years. I haven't dated in 5 years. I haven't dated in 3 years or whatever. The last date I've been on, I took myself. And that pained me, because I was like, I remember I was young, girl, and beautiful and fine, honey, fine. Do you hear me in my 20s? I had 2 kids at 23 and 25, and my family didn't want to watch the kids so I could go out. Right? And so many, listen, I'm behind. I'm decades behind. You understand, I hadn't got as much in as I needed to get in. And so the thing is, I realized that we stop ourselves from finding good love because we listen to all these stories that people tell us. So I said, I'm going to do something about it. When I moved to Texas with my boys, I actually took a 3-year break. I didn't focus on dating. I focused on my career. I focused on us getting settled. It was the most amazing, peaceful time in my life. And then after that, I was like, listen, I still got it, honey. Let's get back into the dating game. And so what I started doing was coaching women on, when I started coaching, this was years later after I moved, but I started coaching women on their confidence because I realized I had a confidence issue, and I had to, rewrite those stories. I was telling myself that nobody wanted me because I went out with one dude, and when he found out that I had kids, he was like, nah. And so all men aren't like that, and I set out to prove that. So that's the premise behind the brunch. It's a great day out for women. It's a luxury brunch. I, pull out all the stops. It's an amazing day out. There's always amazing food. And the first year I did the panel with all men because I wanted women to be able to hear from the male perspective. Later that year when I did it in D.C., I had male and female panelists because I wanted us to get both sides of the story. And then I held it the next year. I did an all-female panel because, see, I realized that we women need to hear different points of view. We need to hear positive information, and sometimes we need to be told, girl, it's you. Girl, it's you, okay? Because we have feminine energy, and we don't tap into it all the time, especially as independent women. A lot of times that masculine energy, that fear of, can I really trust this person, that inability or unwillingness to be dependent in some ways. So I wanted them to get those perspectives. And so long story short, last year I didn't host a brunch at all because I needed a whole entire break. It's intense. And so I'm bringing it back this year. And listen, I will make sure to share with you, and so you can share with your audience. But I haven't set a date because I have been building my second brand. And I don't know if you know this, but I run a brand called Spanish for Small Business. And that's been taking up a lot of time. Because remember, I was a Spanish teacher for 13 years. And so on the side, I would always teach entrepreneurs and small business owners Spanish. And so that's where my focus is, in addition to coaching women, right, and starting their own business. So that's where I've been. And I can't wait to bring the brunch back, but it'll probably be later this year.
Well, and for all of our listeners, stay in tune for this amazing brunch that Keywanda is doing throughout the United States. So we definitely will be following you and consistently staying updated with that, Keywanda, so our listeners can attend when you're in their city, in their state.
Well, and that's been one of the dreams that I wanted to do, a multi-city tour. Definitely Atlanta, definitely Houston, definitely New York. And so you can follow me on Instagram and keep in touch with your girl at The Winning Single Mom. And I'm telling you, lots of good stuff is coming out. And, Ashley, this is just amazing that you're doing this, and thank you for having me on.
You are welcome. I got some more questions, though. So tell us more about your devotional book, Parent, Thrive, and Win.
Girl, so I'm telling you, that when God downloads things into me, I run for it. My first book, it took me a year and a half to write it. I wrote this devotional in a weekend because, and people are like, okay, it's 31 days, right? But it's 31 days that are based on the life of a single mom, right? And so it's not the typical, well, here's a great scripture to just read today. No, honey. You got a finance problem, I got a devotional for that. You got a man problem, I got a devotional for that. You feeling down today, we got a devotional for that. These kids are acting right, we got a devotional for that. So it's 31 days that's intended to take God's word and just cause you to see that you can still make it through every single thing that is stacked against you. And you know what? I had a sale that I turned on Friday only, and I have not remembered to turn it off. So these books are still $10 at my website. And so I'm telling you, y'all better go get it before I put the price back up to the regular price. But this week, Ashley, on my Facebook business page, I'll be posting videos every day because I'm going to read through the devotional all 31 days. So that's going to be fun. I'm hoping God will show up and just do something amazing in the lives of women, just encouraging them because, the truth is, we can get so busy, and that's what the devotional was for. We can get so busy that we forget that all of our problems, God knew about them, and He has a solution. So I wanted to say, no matter what you're facing, and that's why it's 31 days, and you can pick any day you want, right, as long as it speaks to your issue. is get him involved. If we can get God involved sooner, our problems can be over sooner. That's what I've learned in my life. So now I've learned to go to the source and just talk to him, because I promise you, I'm not standing here today all this proud and happy and joyous woman because I did it on my own. It was him. It was him, honey. Somebody was praying for me.
And where can they go purchase this amazing devotional?
Okay, so both of my books are on Amazon. So if you're an Amazon person, they're there. But also on my website for the special that's still $10, you can go to kwandalam.com/shop. So, they also come from me, so I'll send those out, and I always autograph them and send you a little special gift. So, girl, go ahead and grab them while I'm feeling generous. I'll keep it up. I'll keep it up this week. I'll keep it up until Friday, because as small business owners, one of the things that we need people to do is to support us. You know what I mean? And so let me tell you something, girl. I done spent $10 and $20 and $30. Girl, this girl I know who has flashcards, and I'm like, hold up, I'm out here discounting all this knowledge and all this goodness and this wisdom. And she like, no, baby, that's going to be $30, okay, for this pack of cards. I'm like, what? We spend our money on what we value. And I want women to know that when you get these books, you're going to get your whole entire life.
I love it. So definitely go support and get the book. Now let's talk about your Single Mom Success Bundle and Planner.
Okay, so the Single Mom Success Bundle is, I thought about, like, if I was a new single mom, what would I need? And it has 11 tools in it. And one of the most bomb, fantastic things it has is the digital cash flow statement / spreadsheet, budget spreadsheet that I use as a young single mom to pay off 10 credit cards, get my credit together, honey, know what money was coming in and where it was going. And it's based on the zero budget system. And so I was a big follower, and still am, a big follower of Dave Ramsey. And when I moved to Texas, I made, my salary went up. Yeah, my salary went up like maybe $12,000 just by me making a move to Texas. And, of course, rent went up as well and lots of other things. But I also had some room in my budget. Their dad wasn't paying child support, but I had some room in my budget to start saving and to also start paying down debt. And so what I tell women is I was taking care of kids on $19,000 a year. I was taking care of two kids on $19,000 a year, and it started out at 14. Then it went to 26. Then it went to 32. Then it went to 40. What's the jump in these numbers? The jump was me going back to school. The jump was me demanding my worth. The jump was me saying, hey, I want to move to this position. And so that's why I said earlier, if you're thinking that you're stuck, no, you're not. It's a job application away, okay? And so let's start picking things that we enjoy and that we like doing, because I'm tired of going places, getting bad customer service. I'm going to get back on topic, but I just want you to know I'm tired of going places, getting bad customer service because you don't like your job. You have a choice. Go choose something that you want to do and get paid for it. But anyway, so that bundle not only will help you get your coins together, it has a meal planner in it. It has a digital schedule in it. I mean, it's talking about dating. It's talking about self-care. It's just the bundle that you need when you become a new single mom to help you say, okay, let me get centered. Let me figure out what's next. Let me make sure everything that should be together is together. And then there's me talking about there's a document in there where it's talking about your self-care, but also your financial life plan. And I remind them that you need life insurance, all these things. So anyway, it's really good, ladies. And I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed because it has 11 items that will download immediately and help you get your life.
So look at all the great things that Keywanda has shared with us tonight, the tools for you to be able to win and win successfully for our single moms that are listening. Even if you're not a single mom, Keywanda has something for everybody. So definitely connect with her, support her. She's definitely somebody to know. Now, Keywanda, I normally ask all of my guests this question, and I know you continually build your own table, right? So how did you create your seat at the table?
You know what? I just started sharing what was in my heart. And as I started sharing what was in my heart, people noticed. and I would start getting invited to speak, or I would say, hey, I want to start speaking. And when I was at one of the churches that I spent a lot of time with, being a member of, about maybe 10 years, me and my boys used to live in another city, and I was active there after I had been inactive there. I'd been one of the, what do we call them, the church members, the pew warmers or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And so I enjoy going to church, love the Lord, but I was like, okay, God, I'm starting to feel guilty. I'm not in the choir. I'm not, holding any position. How can you use me? How should I, utilize my skills at the church? And so I started teaching ESL in the evenings on Wednesdays. And then they were like, you're a Spanish teacher. Why don't you teach people Spanish? And so I did that. Of course, that was my day job. And so I would go to the church on Wednesday night, and instead of going to Bible study, people would come and learn Spanish. And so from there, I was talking to some of the people that were in my Sunday morning Bible study, and I told them that God had been putting on my heart that I needed to tell my story and that I was writing a book. And so wrote the book, and once I did that, some of my church members who were Deltas and AKAs and everything else, they started recommending me to go to different places. And I'm just telling you from there. So, how do you get started? You share what's in your heart. We all have social media. We all have a cell phone. Turn that thing on and start talking, and your people at some point will come. Also, I started blogging, right? You don't have to blog if you don't like to write. You can podcast. You can, do YouTube. You don't even have to do social, but you have to get started, and you have to share what's in your heart, and you have to tell people. So I started telling people, and people started inviting me to do stuff, and the rest is history. But I built my own table when I decided to host my own event. Instead of saying, why didn't I get picked to be a panelist for this, or this person didn't invite me to speak here, or I really wanted to do that, you start building your own thing. I built my own coaching program, and then I told people about it. You see what I'm saying? And so
right.
sometimes you just have to, like we said earlier, take action. And, sometimes we don't know everything in the beginning, and that can be scary. But I'm telling you, the scarier thing is to, what did Dr. Miles Monroe say? Like some of the, the smartest people or the best ideas are in the graveyard, because so many people leave here without ever attempting or trying that thing that God gave them. And I don't want to be that person. I want him to be so proud of me, and I want him to say, listen, girl, ain't nothing left up here, okay, because you used it all down there. I want him to say, I'm proud. I want to hear well done. And so instead of being afraid of what people might think, I just go for it.
I love it.
So I tell you to go for it, girl. Whatever's in your heart, test it out, because at least you will know. The worst thing is to get to the end of your life and be like, I wish I would have. I don't want that to be my story. So don't wish, just try.
Don't wish, just try. So what did failure teach you on your journey?
What did failure teach me? So I used to think, okay, listen, let me tell you this, honey. So my grandmother, Teresa Lamb, was the matriarch, and that woman raised me, honey, to be everything. Before I ever even considered dating, I knew how to run a house. I knew how to cook, clean, mow the lawn, do everything that needed to be done. So you might even think, like, do you need a dude? Okay, because you know how to do everything. I can grill, all of it. And so when I got to college, this good girl, this Christian, this, still a virgin at 21, I had this little self-righteous thing about me, which at the time I didn't know I had. I had a little pride. I didn't know I had it. But becoming a single mom just totally broke me, because, one, the dream I had for myself was that I would go to college, I would be successful, I would have a great career, and by the time I was 30, then I would give somebody the time of day. I'd just magically meet Mr. Right, and start a family. And I felt like I lost something, and I felt like a failure when that happened. Also that I was failing my kids, especially when I found out that I had picked a man who was not a good father, who was not a present father. So there were some things that bothered me along the way. But I had to learn to challenge that, and I had to learn to say that this has made me the woman that I am today. I'm not going to live in shame. I'm not going to call this failure. I'm going to call this learning, and I'm going to move on from it. And one of the things that I've been able to do is take that authenticity of my story, that vulnerability, and share with other women that helps them heal and break through the strongholds that were in their life. So I will tell you that now when something doesn't work for me, I don't sit up and say, man, that was a failure or I was a failure. I'm like, okay, so how do we make it work then?
Right.
Like,
do
I need to try it a different way? Because, you can throw something out, think it's going to be amazing, and then it doesn't work and you can move on from it. But the thing is, you're not supposed to move on from it. You're supposed to look at the data, and you're supposed to try that thing again. What were you going to say?
I said it's a lesson, so I love that. So what did success teach you?
Well, success, I think, is relative. Success has taught me what we all always have known is that we could do it, right? That we could do it and that it was possible. So I think when an initiative that we have works, I think we feel really proud about it. And if something doesn't work, we're like, we kind of internalize it and try to put it on ourselves. But what we should be saying is, it was cool that I got to make that impact. And so I think being successful in many ways, I'm not going to even lie to you. Like when I said earlier in the phone call, like we need to give ourselves more grace and more praise and all that stuff, I don't sit up and say, after everything that people, tell me is successful, like I don't gloat, or I don't even take the time to be like, oh, I did that. I keep moving because my goal is I'm always trying to please God and I'm always trying to make impact and I'm always trying to make sure I'm fulfilling purpose. So that's a really good question for me to ask me, what has success taught me? Because I need to learn how, honestly myself to just sit in it and say, hey, this was successful. This is what success is. But the way that I do measure it and the way that I do honor it is just to say, how was I able to impact somebody? So those are the things that make me smile. Like if a woman says, I read this book, I took this course, like this changed my life, that right there I think is how I measure success. And it's taught me that maybe my troubles and issues in the past can be used to help change somebody else's story. But yeah, I'll have to sit with the rest of that to say, man, what did success teach me? Because I don't want to give a cliche answer and I want to be truthful. Like I don't really sit and be like, oh, that was successful, or I made this, or I did that. I'm always like, okay, that was cool. Now let's keep it moving. So I need to learn to sit in it. I will say that I need to sit in it and process it, and give thanks for it, and just like sit in it a little bit longer. Does that make sense?
I love it.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I love that. Love how you put it. So what can we expect from you in 2020 in this new decade and new year? What can we expect from you?
Girl, I'm going all in. Do you hear me? All in on the dreams the Lord has given me. So I want to do more speaking. I want to do more hosting of events. I'm wanting to launch this Spanish course that's happening on March 2nd and to totally transform the world. And so that's something I've, had up my sleeve and been wanting to do for a really long time. That business is called Spanish for Small Business. And currently I am running a course promotion, and I'm just so excited about it because, I'm African American, I'm not Hispanic. And the fact that I went to college as a business major and I majored in Spanish, my family was like, I minored in Spanish when I was getting the business degree. And when I graduated pregnant, I decided, hey, I'm not going to finish the minor. I only have, 2 more classes to go. I wanted to go ahead and graduate and so, get into the workforce and take care of this new baby. But I ended up going back about 4 or 5 years later, and my family was like, why are you going back with 2 small kids? At that time, I was a single mom. And I just knew I loved it, and I knew it could help me in the field that I was working in. I was working for a mortgage company. And that's how I became a Spanish teacher. I fell in love with it, and it just totally just changed my life. I studied abroad, got family to watch my kids for a little bit. And I share that when you ask what's coming is because I realized that we have got to get connected to being, bilingual. It helps us with travel. It helps us with work. It helps us earn more money. And I'm just excited about what that's going to do for the world. But I'm hosting another brunch, most definitely, speaking on some panels this year. I already got some engagements that I'm lining up, impacting women. And you know what? Let me go on and share with y'all this right here so we put it into the universe. This is the year that I welcome in good love for myself, right? And so I will tell you, I've been on a journey of not dating for the last few years. And I did that because I wanted to focus on my businesses and focus on my boys and just focus on me. But 3 women have gone through programs with me and have gotten married. And I'm like, listen, this stuff works. Y'all better get over here. This stuff works. And so I said, okay, God, I've been helping everybody else find love. We've been having these brunches and coaching and all this. And I said, it's my time this year. And so that's one of the things I'm focusing on as well. I'm making room. So
I love
coin. Listen, so you ready? Let's sum it up. Coins, impact, and love. There we go. Coins, impact, and love. That's what we're looking for in 2020. And for God to just be pleased, for me to be able to ignite folks all over the world. That's my prayer.
All right. Coins, impact, and love. Love that. So, Keywanda, please tell our listeners how they can follow you and support you on all social media platforms.
Well, one more time, y'all have probably found out that I love to talk. I love to teach. So I knew that she had a certain time limit on this broadcast, but I've been trying to get it in. So hopefully tonight y'all heard something that impacted you or helped you on your journey. But you can find me everywhere on social as Keywanda Lamb. I'm on Instagram, Keywanda Lamb, the Winning Single Mom. My Facebook page, Keywanda Lamb, the Winning Single Mom. I do something called Mom Chat on Sundays. I haven't picked it back up this year, but when you go to that page, you'll see a lot of really good videos that will help you get your life. I have a single moms group called Winning Single Moms with Keywanda Lamb. You can ask to be accepted there. It's a safe space. We don't do negativity. We only do positivity. So if that's something you've been looking for, like to be ignited and empowered, check me out there. I tweet a little bit. I used to tweet a lot. And so I tweet a little bit, and when I do tweet, I'm always trying to drop something encouraging. So that's where you can find me. And my website is kwandalamb.com, and that's where you can go and get these good books for half off before Friday.
All right. So make sure you follow and connect with Keywanda. She's definitely somebody to know and to connect with. So, Keywanda, thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to come to the table tonight. This has been an awesome interview, and I can't wait to invite you back.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'll have to have you on my podcast as well.
Yes.
And this has been amazing. So thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, and I look forward to working with you and collaborating with you in this new year.
Super excited. All right, talk to you later, sis.
All right, see you, sis. So I would like to give a special thanks to my intern, Sarah, from Tennessee State University, and my intern, Vontaria, from Winston-Salem State University. You all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.